In a world of increasing mental health challenges, psychology and faith can both provide tools for healing and wellness. This is the idea behind Journey on My Mind. Each episode, our panel of pastors and therapists sit down together to share their experiences and insights on the modern world's mental health issues: depression, loneliness, aging, addiction, and so much more. Join us now as we explore what it means to thrive at the complex intersection of spirit and psychology.
So welcome to A Journey on My Mind. What's on your mind today, Dave?
Well,
Dave came in with a really nice propositional question, which I thought was kind of fun. What is the best song that's ever been written, and or something to that effect?
Well, yeah, and different than what's your favorite song.
Right.
It's
different.
what's the best song ever written.
Yeah.
And it's very subjective, sort of.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
I mean, unless you're like into classical music, I think you could come up with Beethoven's Fifth.
I think I'm talking about more
Pop.
within our
Regular.
era of,
Yeah.
like modern music.
Like not
Right.
just in
'Cause
Kevin's lifetime, but in ours.
because
too.
my initial thought was, there's a couple of hymns that are pretty classics,
Yeah.
like Amazing Grace,
yeah.
which
Will,
It is
yeah,
well.
and it is well with my soul.
I love that one.
Yeah, right. But we were talking about real songs.
real.
Well,
And growing up in the 70s and being very much so influenced by the 70s, I came up with the classic song, Hotel California,
Which is
Yeah.
a great
great
choice.
song.
which is very similar to Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Very close.
In all ways except none.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
No ways.
Same
Yeah.
subject matter.
But I can sing it without music.
Same worldview.
Same worldview. Yeah. But if you play that in Guitar Center, they'll kick you out.
Yeah.
Which one?
Oh wait, you said what did you say?
Not Stairway to
I'm
Heaven.
thinking of Stairway to
Nope.
Heaven. Never mind.
Edit.
Edit.
I have never liked that song. I have never liked that song.
And if you play Hotel California backwards,
Yeah, you go straight to
You go to heaven.
No,
You go to-
it plays Amazing Grace.
Oh,
Yeah. Very few people know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Very few people
That's
know
really
that.
helpful. That's
Yeah.
really helpful.
Oh no, it's Stairway to Heaven if you play it backwards. You go to hell. My bad. Yeah, my bad.
I used to do radio.
Red rum.
Yeah.
And we had
Red
this
rum.
recurring bit
Yeah.
where we would take a song and we would spin it backwards, but we had recorded ourselves saying things.
Satan,
Yes, Satan.
That's so funny. We used to, my cousins, I would do that with tapes where you would record yourself and then you could do it backward. We would try and say it backwards. and then
Natas.
play it
No,
forward.
it's
Yeah,
too hard.
yeah.
No. We would just do stupid stuff like that too. That was
Yeah.
All right, my choice. It's
you
between
have two.
two very
Yep.
different songs. Let It Be by the Beatles
is a great one.
and Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
Those are great songs.
I
Yeah.
think have to be on
Yep.
a short list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Let It Be, but it's a great song.
It's a great song.
How are you not a fan of it?
I know. What's wrong with you? I
don't know.
That's
Yeah.
the question, really.
I think most Beatles songs, personally, are too repetitive. The
real,
looks
guys.
I'm getting right now.
we just got very judgy here.
Say that about the Beach Boys. I'm coming across the table.
Don't say any Pet Sounds criticism.
right.
No,
Yeah.
I won't.
That
Not a
was-
word. Roof.
Yeah. I would
And-
say, golly, guys, I keep
Go
thinking
for it.
about
No,
it.
go for it.
Well, I would say one for me that was just, maybe this is a personal, I don't know that anyone would say this is the best song ever written, but was Today by the Smashing Pumpkins. It's
Excellent
one
song.
of mine that's
But
super
you-
important.
But important because it influenced you
Yeah, it was
musically.
Yeah, it was definitely,
In terms of
yeah. The whole, that record. But
the way of using the guitar, progression
thinking
of the
about
song.
songwriting and
Right.
music and yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Was there another one you were going to say?
Well, I mean, Pet Sounds, that's a record, but
Record,
just
yeah,
the beat.
album.
Brian Wilson's my favorite songwriter ever. I mean,
Skills.
recently passed, which is sad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Had his troubles,
Yeah, he did.
but
yeah.
like kind of a literal creative genius.
I got to see him
think so.
tour. I got to see him a few years ago play a record that he never had. They never finished. It had been a demo for. It was called Smiley Smile, and then they finished it. The record's called Smile. So I got to see like the second performance of that. So
Man.
it was a bucket list, and I'm really glad that
Yeah.
that
Wow.
happened. So
He
yeah.
did have some mental illness, right?
Well,
Or-
yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, obviously the whole, like all the drug abuse, everything that kind of played into all of that, So.
Yeah.
And he had a I think a psychiatrist, Dr. Lanning, was that his name? Who was kind of like took over his life.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right. It was this weird, like
I didn't know
very enmeshed, no boundaries, kind of like cultic,
kind of keeping people
cultish kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
So
Didn't know that.
There's a thing. Mm-hmm. It was like he had all these mental health problems, but then he also had this, I think he was a psychiatrist who was just very weirdly enmeshed in all the stuff and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
Yeah.
So that's what we were discussing.
Good night, everybody.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thanks for
y'all have a
joining.
Hope
good
you have a
one.
great day.
It's been real.
But with all that's been going on with the world today, it's nice to talk about music a little bit.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. But all those songs transport me back. Like, except for yours, the Smashing Pumpkin one.
Can I tell you real quick, Smashing Pumpkins thing?
Yes, please.
I went to see a Billy Graham. I saw Billy Graham twice, one in Philadelphia and one in Charlotte. And when I went to see him,
and he was Smashing Pumpkins?
There
That's
was
Billy Corgan, not Billy Graham.
Oh,
different Billy.
I just
man.
mix
Come
those
on,
guys
Dave.
up all the time.
Jeez. I thought it was Billy Idol. Come on.
In Charlotte, he was in his I'm going to be hip era. Like I'm going to reach the kids these days.
Yeah.
So
Hip with the
These
team.
days.
hip with the teens.
That's right.
So he said,
That's so good.
as the band Smashing Pumpkins said, despite all my rage, I'm just a rat in a cage.
Yeah, he said that.
He did.
That's so hilarious.
Stuck in my head that Billy Graham's
Despite
like-
all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage.
And I want to tell you today, it doesn't matter, my friends.
You don't have to be a rat.
You don't
in a
have to
cage
be a rat in a
anymore.
cage. You can be a child of God.
That's pretty good, Dave.
I know.
You in the top. Start coming now. The buses
If you
will
do
wait.
an altar call, I'm coming, bro. I'm down.
I know.
Yeah,
The buses will wait.
The buses will wait.
Yeah.
Just write to me, Billy Graham, Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's all the address you'll need.
That's true for Billy Graham. That is pretty true.
Or
Just put Billy. It'll get to him. Yeah.
Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Yeah.
That's all the address you'll need.
Oh my God.
All Billy.
Have you been to Winnipeg, Montana?
No, I've been to Ottawa, which I love, but Winnipeg is a little too much out there. Yeah.
No.
I don't think I could manage that.
You could manage it, but you wouldn't enjoy it.
Well, yeah.
That's a different thing.
So we've got an interesting topic today.
We
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
we want to
we're-
talk about the psychology and the sort of church's perspective, and from a faith perspective, the topic of betrayal,
Right.
which is a heavy topic.
Yeah.
So I'm going to define it, at least a working definition,
Great.
and I want to throw a question out to you guys.
Right.
So I'm going to define betrayal as a violation of trust by someone or some institution. So
Right.
that could involve a church, it could involve any other institution that we rely on for safety, care, love, or guidance, including spiritual guidance. So this isn't like an ordinary conflict. It really is something that cuts into the moral fabric of the relationship.
Yeah.
It is something that shatters assumptions about loyalty, about whether we can count on someone. It often is very wounding spiritually and psychologically,
Yeah.
and it tends to linger for a long time
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yep.
So I'm not just tossing this out blindly. I did ask before I did. Without saying names, without saying details, I'll ask you guys both, have you ever experienced a betrayal? Whoever
Yeah.
wants to pick that up first.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
We both have.
quite
yes.
a few times.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll let you answer the question, Tev, too. But just as you were talking about it a little bit, I just was thinking back, and I can quickly think of probably 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
And were they in church settings? Were they in professional music settings? Were they in like what?
Yeah,
nodding yes, yes.
I'm
Yep.
really not fishing. I'm just
No,
trying to
that's
figure
okay.
out what the context was for them.
In every single one in my family.
Okay, that's big.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
In music, there was one that comes screaming back. Maybe more if I wanted to kind of
Yeah.
look at it with a microscope. But yeah, and then 2 or 3 in church communities.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the last 2 communities I've been a part of I've had something like that. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to come back to that.
Yeah, I've in the last 5 years experienced 3 very deep betrayals.
In the last 5 years.
In the last 5 years.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and
before that?
Oh, several. But I the church has burned me a few times. So there's some betrayal with some of my previous ministries. Family, I put them kind of in the category of I'm not sure it's as much betrayal as it is just, I don't even know what category to put that in.
And just to interject, like disagreement, conflict, differences of opinion, or things like that wouldn't necessarily be a betrayal.
Right. But
this is something deeper.
Yeah, most of this has to do with people that have either worked for me or I've worked with. That I've entrusted a lot with.
Mostly in a work context, but in your case, a professional ministry context.
Correct.
All right.
Yep.
We're already there.
Yeah.
Okay. So for both of you, question of what has this done for or to you? How has it, what's been the impact? How has it affected you?
Well, and one that I don't know, very easy for me to grab hold of is just it's caused me not to trust sometimes. Or maybe as quickly or as but it's impacted my ability to trust.
Kind of categorically across the board?
Not necessarily, not categorically, but maybe more in some specifics. But, trust is a big one.
It seems like by nature you're trusting.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm wired that way.
Yeah.
But I would say I still am. I'm just, there are times when it's much more of a cautious trust than it would have been probably before I'd been betrayed.
Yeah. How it's affected me probably most recently is I have a reoccurring voice in my head that repeats, and depending upon the volume of what I do and what I don't do is that I'm just not very smart. And with that comes this ongoing battle of, well, I'll show you I'm smart. But when I hit and when I hit a betrayal, I've placed my trust in somebody I shouldn't have. That's the voice. And with that comes, see, you're not very smart. You don't know how to pick people. You don't know how to work with people. You don't know what you're doing. How in the world should you be leading an organization? And so that's the battle for me, because but I desperately am split down the middle a lot on this, because then I go, well, then I can't trust anybody. And then, well, if I'm going to trust you, and if I work with you for over a long period of time, over 10 years, you prove yourself to be trustworthy, then the violation of that becomes that much more harsh, and that much deeper. So there's so what it does to me is it paralyzes me.
That's good.
I don't know how else to say it.
No, that's perfect.
But I become very cautious on releasing the amount of responsibility that has been placed to me into other people's hands.
Yes.
So is the tendency then to claw it back and to feel overly responsible?
Right.
That's good.
That's correct.
I relate to that for sure. Yeah.
And then I get stuck under it. Because now I'm like, I got to do more. I got to work more. I've got to.
And I can't trust anybody I can't give anybody this to help me with.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
It's big.
It is. And it's caused me some sleepless nights. It's caused me self-doubt.
So not to be your therapist here.
Feel free.
We'll take it, Dave. Hey, you got me and Kev on lock, man. Just do it. Work it out here with us.
But no. Well, I'll just summarize. So,
not to be your therapist. You know what, Dave? You can be my therapist.
Occupational hazard.
I know, right? It's like I pastor people. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
Well, so I'm going to say basically what you said back, but then move it somewhere. Is to say, early on, you've had this voice in your head that says, "I'm not very smart," or maybe I'm not very smart. It's a doubt, or it's a, and that comes from early stuff.
Yep.
And precedes all this. In other words, precedes.
Yeah, it set me up for this.
Right. So, so if we go back in your developmental history, that voice has kind of been whispering at you.
Yeah, well, shouting, but
shouting at times.
Yeah. Yep.
And so with that, I would imagine that there are times when there's evidence against that, where you've been successful in something or where you've made good decisions.
Yep.
That part's easy to kind of overlook.
Yep.
And then the times when something happens that confirms this old, we call it a schema, right? It's this old schema.
Yep.
So it's interesting that for you, betrayal gets tied up in that it hits on the level of, oh, this confirms this old thing that I'm not very smart.
Correct.
Because on the face of it, betrayal doesn't necessarily have to be about us being smart or not smart, but it just fits that.
It fits that for me. Fits that narrative.
Yeah. So I think the reason why that's important is that we all have our own stuff, and that it would be interesting thinking about, as someone experiences a betrayal, how does it push that particular button?
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So anything similar like that for you?
Yeah. Well, I think I relate to what Kev's saying. I think it's probably impacted me in some of those similar ways, you know, where like, you know, I would normally trust in this area, but I'm going to claw back, you know, and take the responsibility back, because if I let them, you know, just those kinds of things that it's scrambled a little bit at times.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing that I found that it affects it as I've gotten older, the voice of "you should know better." Yeah. You should know better. And comes into play.
You should know better because you've already been through this rodeo.
Yep. Yeah. How can you not see this?
Well,
did you not see this?
I think,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Those are the.
Well, I think a lie early on in my life was insignificance, right? And so I can see that kind of.
Yeah.
It highlights that wrestle at times, like, oh, I'm not worth. Yeah. You know, you're not important enough, and so.
Explain that a little more. Significance in the sense of,
I guess,
the person betrayed me because I wasn't of value enough.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter enough.
Or this thing that we were, you know, it wasn't important enough. Or,
interesting. Yeah. All right. So those are two good examples. Like, I think this is part of our own dealing with this, is knowing what part is our stuff that gets pushed up by it.
Yeah. Yeah. The other part of it for me is I have a high value for loyalty. And
yes,
not only my own personal, but if people reciprocate the loyalty, it matters to me. I place that in a, like, probably maybe even in an unhealthy spot. I don't know. I don't even know how to even gauge whether it's healthy or not, to be honest with you. But there's a degree of, you know, we're in this together. We're going to do this together. We're on the same team. And a lot of this goes back to team sports for me, and a lot of things like that, where it was ingrained in me. And there's a sense of where if you're not with me, you're against me, kind of thing. And thinking somebody's with you, and then to find out that they've been playing you for 9 years, that's tough. Yeah, it's rough on the loyalty front.
Yeah.
So this is a speculative question, and it might be different for each of, like, you're talking about what, 5 or so, 6. Yeah. You're talking about 6 or more. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's probably more than most people experience. And my experience has been that people in ministry experience this more than other people.
I was going to ask that.
I think for sure. Yeah. I think it's, and we'll get into that in a second, I think. Which sucks, but it's just, I think it is true.
I wish they'd teach that in seminary, then the rest of us wouldn't have gone into this crazy job.
Well, I'm not, that's good idea.
You're on to something.
Hold on. Did you say there's going to be a lot of betrayal in this?
Yeah.
I'm going to find something else to do.
Yeah. So, but when you reflect on it, is there a common theme of why people betrayed you? In other words, were they, when you said they've been playing you for 9 years, is that true? Or is it just they took a path of convenience in the moment, or that they prioritize themselves over the well-being of you or someone else? Or like what do you think upon reflection drove them to behave that way? And again, you might have 6 different answers to this.
I think self-preservation in some cases, their own self-preservation. I think in another case, it was a matter of self-sabotage for them.
Okay. And would the self-sabotage be because they that was sort of a time bomb waiting there, or that they were in a spot where they were trying to get out? They're trying to escape.
I think they were trying to get out. I think another instance, I think it was organizationally not understanding the circumstance we were in, and not hearing where I was, and making choices that I mean, when your elder board sits and says, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing, and they're all unanimously in agreement, and you submit to that because that's the way you've been wired.
And does that involve, in this instance, like throwing you under the bus or putting you in
a difficult position? Yeah.
So sort of like, well, we're going in this direction. Sorry.
Yep.
Sucks for you.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have 2 of those in my history.
Yeah. I guess a couple of them that I think of, I don't know necessarily, because one was the result of an addiction that was exposed in my childhood.
And was that the person acting out of their addiction? In other words, because of their addiction, or was it? Yeah.
Okay. And I've shared this. It's just my dad and his sex addiction.
Okay.
Right. So I've talked about that some, but and so not it happened, and it was big, and it was a betrayal, but I didn't think I understood necessarily why, what was behind that, but I think the addiction was driving that. But and another one that I've mentioned was I was abused as a 10-year-old, and so that's a big one.
Yeah. And the motive there is sometimes unknowable, but it's right.
Yeah, that so a couple of them are hard to really know the why, but yeah.
So interesting in that last example, that last example is a trauma and a betrayal. Sometimes traumas are not betrayals.
Yeah.
Sometimes betrayals are not, sometimes betrayals aren't technically traumas, but in that case, that's both.
They cross.
But not to get too wonky sounding, but the research on this says, particularly in those really close relationship betrayals, that people are very vulnerable to having symptoms that look like PTSD or major anxiety or depression as a result of it, even if it's not technically meeting the criteria for trauma. That last one does. But do you know what I mean? So it's,
would that first one, like with my dad's like addiction, would that
has
meet okay.
Meaning like it's such a close relationship that the betrayal of it does all the things that a true traumatic event does to a person.
I mean, that's how I feel like I experienced it. But yeah.
So this is big.
Wow. Yeah.
Huh.
I think the stat on that was between 30 and 60% of people who are in sort of close relationships, like a partner relationship where there's a betrayal, show what we call clinically significant, like diagnosable symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, or depression.
Yeah.
I think
so. A third to over half.
I think I've experienced depression as a result of it.
And did you know that at the time, or was that only upon reflection?
It took me a few months
Mm-hmm.
And then it was compounded. Like it was compounded by a bunch of different external
Layers,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I chalked it up to other things. And then in hindsight, look back on it.
Yeah.
And that's why at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm beginning to see a pattern here of when this happens, and I start to experience some form of depression.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's sad that it makes me sad
Mm-hmm.
to realize that I just assumed everybody gets betrayed against.
Yeah,
Wow.
I honestly, I was reflecting on myself, and I've had some things that I think are close, but I don't think I could count betrayals. There's in my business in Charlotte, there was a story that I won't take the time today to get into, but I have talked about before.
Yeah.
Where with my then business partner went off the rails and has since died as a result of his alcoholism and so on.
It's rough.
But then in response to that, a lot of people that I had close relationships with there jumped ship at the time when I needed them.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a little bit at the time easy to think about it as a betrayal.
Yeah.
But upon reflection, I'm not sure that I do. Like in some ways, I can't blame them.
Could that be a betrayal though? I mean, like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, yes, maybe, but I think I felt like at the time, this is a time I need you to stick with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, I got to get out of here.
I'm out.
I can't.
Yeah.
Theirs was self-preservation.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Or the perception of self-preservation. Like actually, had they stayed, it would have been okay.
Yeah.
But they were just jumping ship because it was just so dicey. And I wasn't there, right? I'm here in Nashville and it's happening hundreds of miles away. And so I'm not able to sort of manage that directly. And I think I felt that at the time, but when I think about it, I'm like, I don't know if that was a true betrayal. Okay. I mean, maybe. I don't want to minimize it, but I also want to be like, I can't fault them in a way. Like when I think about it now, I'm like, I don't know if that's fair to say they should have just stuck with it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And even my business partner, there are things that he did that were awful. And I actually think he betrayed some people there. Mm-hmm. But as far as me, I have interpreted that as more of like this was a guy in the midst of life falling apart, external to the work. And what I was seeing was a result of that. So, I'm not sure. But back to the point, I don't know that I have, apart from that whole scenario, can think of things where I'm like, oh, I was betrayed here. So my question for you guys is, let's assume I'm right. And this is from, decades of being connected to the church, being in church settings, and then also being in my role where I'm seeing people, kids of people in ministry, families in ministry. I just think the stories that you guys tell are more common than not.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Because that seems like it should be the opposite almost. People that are in ministry roles who can say, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus betrayals in my life, largely connected to the church.
Yeah. Man, I'm hoping you got a good answer, Dave. 'Cause
You're stuck here.
Yeah. Like I could. What were you gonna say, Kev?
I think partly it's set up for it. And maybe you build a community of people, and in building a community of people, if you're doing it well and you're not doing it from the vantage point of trying to extract something from it but giving yourself to it, you become susceptible to being taken advantage of by people who either purposefully or unpurposefully, it doesn't matter, find a way to take advantage of the trust that you've given them. And I think it's a pretty common occurrence because churches in general, pastors in general, are trusting people, and we're easily taken advantage of.
I'd agree with that. I think it's the two things that come to my mind are that, which is I think the church to some degree attracts people that are looking for soft targets.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying most people in church are doing that.
Right.
No.
I'm saying there's just enough people that are looking for the person that's going to be the person that's going to support their position, the person that's going to let them in, the person that's going to, right. And so...
And they'll help me.
Yep. And so it's set up. The other is, I think there's a larger, and I think this is American culture stuff, again, is that the church has been set up as a commodity or a business.
Yeah.
And people approach the church with the mindset of, what does this do for me? They have a program. I really like this program. They have a style of worship. I like that. Or now they change it. I don't like that. I'll go somewhere else. It's very much consumer driven.
Yep.
Well, think about what that does is that you're approaching church the way you would like, a store at the mall in a way where it's like, if I get what I want, then great. And if I don't, then I'm going to, and the person behind the counter is irrelevant to someone who's got that mindset.
Right.
There's no need to be kind. There's no need to be thoughtful. There's no, it's like, I'm coming in here for my needs.
Yeah.
So when you have people coming into an organization saying that the primary reason I'm here, they're not saying it, but this meets my needs. Then I think the pastor becomes a part of that commodity.
Yes.
Yeah. And is easier to overlook or
discount.
Yeah. And then it makes it easier to, when there's a point where I have to choose my well-being or my preference over their well-being. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
That happened to me during when I planted a church. I had a group of people that helped me plant a church, and that very conversation was had with somebody.
What part of it?
This is not meeting my needs. There was a series, and this is a guy I knew for, I don't know, 15 years. He looked me in the eye and he said, "You are not what I need in a pastor. You are not meeting the needs that he leveled me." And I didn't see it coming. Like, those are moments when you go, man, I had no idea. Why did why are we having this conversation over a hot dog? This is a conversation we should have been having all along. Yeah. But he said, "No, we're done." And I've never talked to him since.
Wow. That's crazy. But I've heard variations of that story. Yeah. That I think pastors are very vulnerable to this, and people in ministry are very vulnerable to this.
Yeah.
So, bigger question then is, how have you guys
There's a bigger question.
stuck with it? Like, in other words, I mean,
true.
It's not like you can't find something else to do necessarily, or like, I don't know. It's like, you've made deliberate choices to stick with it. You have colleagues who've said, and I have friends who've been like, "Peace out." Right.
Yeah.
This is it.
For sure.
And I don't blame them for an instant.
Yeah.
But you guys, for whatever crazy reason, have stuck with it despite that. How have you thought that through to get to that point?
Wow. I don't know that I've ever thought about it.
You just,
I mean, in this way, I mean, like that directly. I don't know. I guess maybe for me, when I think about, like, in every area I've experienced some betrayal. And so I figure maybe I've just, like, that's just going to be part of life. And so I, like, just jumping to a new thing doesn't mean I'm not going to experience that. So I'm not one to really run from stuff like that. Typically I kind of am like, well, maybe sometimes I get too, kind of grounded in it and stay when I shouldn't, but I just don't have a lot of quit in me.
But also because your early experiences suggest it's how
everywhere.
People are.
And
so if I'm here or if I'm working for, Liberty Mutual or whatever,
the potential is there for that to happen.
Right. Okay.
I don't know if does that make sense?
Does to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's sort of good and bad, right? It's like it's an assumption, but it also inoculates you a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Probably, yeah.
I've been trying to sort this out for the last couple of years, actually. Why am I still doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And it comes back to a couple of things for me. And part of it's very, very, very bad theology. I'm just being
of your own,
yeah,
you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is?
That somehow I was called to this.
Yeah.
Oh, and that because of that, I'm
stuck.
It's above you.
Right.
And I have to take it on the chin.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just being honest.
I relate to that, yeah.
Yeah. There's a sense of where and this is bad teaching to me when I was younger, is like when you're done, God will let you know. Okay. Well, I wish you would let me know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I don't even know how he would let me know. Maybe I should have listened 10 years ago to the last time
Yes, there's been like 6 times now. That
yeah, right a bit. Right.
It's like
I
sent you a boat. I sent you a life raft.
I sent you a helicopter.
Helicopter.
Right. Yeah. What's wrong with you? The other part of it is I there's part of it is that I am to my shame proving my dad wrong. I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know and he's dead. So there's a degree of that in me.
Right.
Those are 2 reasons I've stuck with it.
Isn't that powerful though? That's like your dad's not around to even, you can't even prove to him, but it's still that operating system is still running.
Right. And at the bottom of that pile of things, for whatever reason, I find it to be fulfilling most of the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I just went and worked for a bank or I worked on cars which I'm qualified for.
Yeah.
I went to school to be a mechanic and I went to school to be in finance.
Right.
So there's a degree of, so I could go do other stuff. But I see this as helping people, so I find great fulfillment in knowing that what I'm doing matters.
That's not a small thing either, because that's one of the big reasons for people to stick with things that are hard, which is that they find it to be ultimately meaningful.
Valuable.
Right.
Yeah, that's I would say that's my ultimate why is that, I believe that you're going to experience that potentially everywhere, but there's a higher value to this than just the fact that something happens to me or whatever, So I totally relate to that, Kev.
Yeah.
So last question, how do you guys see the church, and we can talk this local church, but church broadly,
ecumenically,
being healthy in this regard? And I would say there's at least 2 dimensions of that in terms of how we think about care for people in ministry who are frontline, but also just community-wise, what we're doing, messaging, modeling, all that. Any thoughts about all that stuff in a church context?
I think if a church is healthy, what you experience, betrayal will happen. Broken relationship happens, but also within a healthy community, there's restoration. There's a process by which humans are valued even in the midst of betrayal. Whereas in the world, that's not really that common. And we don't seek revenge. We don't seek to bring about which also makes us easy marks, which also makes all those things true. But in the context of the kingdom of God, Jesus was betrayed. It's if
on the night he was betrayed,
right, by one of his 12 closest friends. So there is a expectation of betrayal that comes with it, but also a understanding that if he wasn't immune to it, we're not. But the community itself overcomes that with a deeper sense of vulnerability to one another, which is also a higher level of risk. It's risky to being hurt, but I think it also is where great relationships reside. And so with a desire to have great relationships, not just with each other, but with God, I think risk is involved. And also not placing the theology of if these people do this to me, God did it to me. God didn't do it to you. God's trustworthy and will not betray you. People will.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Great.
Yeah. No.
Any other thoughts?
I mean, I think you said it well.
Rock on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a good one. A lot of meaty stuff in
There
this
is,
one.
man.
A lot of stuff.
There is.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I think we
We call it a day.
We putting a bow
wrap
on
it
that?
up.
Call it a
We're
day.
gonna
And we
wrap
didn't
it
even
up.
talk about the weather.
That's
Have a
right.
great day.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Journey on My Mind. If you enjoyed it, please help us spread the word by leaving us a review and sharing it on your social media. Journey on My Mind is a production of Journey Church in Brentwood, Tennessee. Edwin Rivera III is the show's producer with technical assistance from Randy Hansen. Grant Opperman edits the show. If you have a suggestion for a future topic or a question, you can text us at 615-861-9503. And if you would like to talk to someone about spiritual or mental health issues, you can email our care pastor, Sam Barnhart, at sam@journeytn.com.